Kahal Kadosh. Kahal Kadosh. Erev Tov. Masechet Yevamot Daf Samech Amud Aleph 60A1. 60. Samech Aleph Amud Aleph. The Gemara, we are on the 2 dots. 2, 4, 6, 7 lines down. 2 dots. The Gemara says, Anusat Chavero, 7 lines down. That's where we got to this morning. Anusat Chavero, Umputat Chavero, Lo Isa. So it says over here like this. You're not allowed to come and get married. This is talking about the Kohen Gadol. He's not allowed to marry Anusat Chavero or Mefutat Chavero. Anusat Chavero means the one of the Anusa. Again, that means somebody violated this woman. Or Mefuta, they seduced this woman. They cannot, the Kohen Gadol cannot get married to this woman. Ve'im Nasa, if he did get married to them. Okay, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says, Avlad halal. You know what halal is? Empty. Halal. Yes, desecrated. Right? You have to remember, the rabbis say the avlad is kosher. Amar Rav Huna says Rav Yaakov. Amar Rav Gidal so Havlad halal. Okay, very good. Very good. Says the Gemara. Ika de Amri. There are those that say, Amar Rav Huna what's the reasoning of Rav Yaakov? Savala Rabbi Lazar. He holds like Rabbi Lazar. A woman which is a pnuya, not married woman, that she has relations with a man, she becomes a zona. And the fact that she becomes a zona, so now she cannot get married to the Kohen, which means you have boyfriend, girlfriend, right? It happens in certain schools and things like that, right? And what happens? You have, right? You have children. So says the Gemara as follows. Says the Gemara, right, as follows. Yeah, one more time. He comes and he says, Anusat Chavero. So comes and he says, what's the reasoning? He also can be Lazar. According to him, when you have a panui with a pnuya, it's a zona. Meaning, a bachelor, a boy, goes with a girl, it makes her into a zona. So says the Gemara, he says, does Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov actually hold like a Lazar? We already learned. Mishnat Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov kavenechi. We always paskin like Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. Whatever he said, we always paskin like him. So therefore, he comes and he says, "V'ilu beha amar Rav Amram." But with this, it says that Rav Amram in the name of Rav and Alachak Rabbi Lazar. We don't paskin like Rabbi Lazar. So says the Gemara, Kasha, you're right. It's a good question. Okay, next. Rav Ashi Amar. Rav Ashi comes and he says, "Yeah." One second. Yeah, he comes and he says like this. So says the Gemara, Rav Ashi comes and he says, "Biyesh halal mechayeve aseh kamipalge." The machloket is if a vlad is going to be nolad, if a child is going to be born for a woman which is prohibited to the kuna because of a positive commandment. So Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Savar, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov holds yesh halal. Mechayeve aseh. There is going to be a halal from chayeve aseh. The Rabbanan Savren, the rabbis hold, and halal mechayeve aseh. There is no halal mechayeve aseh. So says the Gemara, what's the reasoning then, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov? Remember, halal means somebody that's profane. It means he's not like a kohen. He loses his kiuna. It's a halal. So the question is, usually we say that the halal is from a negative commandment. Here the machloket is there a halal from a positive commandment? So the Gemara says, what's the reasoning of Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov that also from a positive commandment there's a problem of a halal? It says in a pasuk, Almana u'grusha v'halala zona et elle lo yikach ki im betula. Uchtiv v'vayikra. Yeah? Parashat Emor. Uchtiv v'netzeten ve'lo yechalel zaro be'amav. What does that mean? It's coming and saying that you shouldn't make a halal from your children. Hello. So says the Gemara, Akulhu. So says the Gemara, right? Akulhu. on all the women which are prohibited in the previous pasuk. So therefore, it's going to make it into halalim. So the Rabbanan, and according to the rabbis that they argue. Now remember, there it said, almana, grusha, chalala, v'zona, etelo lo yikach kim betula, v'lo yichalel. So therefore, even from a zona, it becomes a halal. It says, the Gemara, ele, when it says, et ele lo yikach, hifsika inyan, it's a hefsek. Yeah, it's a hefsek. Fine. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, and according to Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, he says, ele lemiute nida, comes to exclude anida. Keman aza adetanya. What does that mean? I mean, basically it comes that if a Kohen has relations with his wife, when she's a nida, the child is not a halal. One more time. Kohen has relations with his wife, but she's a nida. Is the child a halal or not? Not a halal. That's what you said. So says the Gemara, Kiman Azahadetanya, he's not a halal. He's ben anida, but he's not a halal. He's still a kosher child. He's a Kohen. Yeah? He says, so Kiman Azahadetanya me'ele ata ose halal vi ata ose halal minidal. Kiman, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, it goes like Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov. So says the Gemara, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, nichteve la'ele levasov. What does he say la'ele at the end of the pasuk? So he says, you're right. It's a good question. You should have written it at the end. Okay? Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. Achoto arusa. What does that mean? The sister of a Kohen Adiot, that she dies when she's an arusa. Okay? She dies when arusa. What it means like this. We know that when a Kohen, when one of his family members dies, he's allowed to become tameh to them. Okay? To the Bet HaKvarot. Tameh. Yeah? Chazak Baruch. Wow. Yeah? What are the seven?
אבא, אמא, אח, אחות, באה האישה שלו, ילדים.
בן ובת. כן, אבל אחות. מה זה אחות?
רק אם היא לא נשואה.
לא נשואה.
ראית?
יש תקווה. Yeah? So it says over here. Yeah?
תבוא אחר כך אני אסביר לך.
כן? אז מה זאת אומרת? פה כתוב אחותו ארוסה. אחותו that she is married, but it's the first stage of marriage.
רגע.
רבי מאיר.
היא הולכת לבית אביה, נכון?
רבי מאיר ורבי יהודה אומרים, מטמא לה.
בדיוק.
So רבי מאיר ורבי יהודה say, מטמא לה. Why? Because she, not חוזר, she's still בבית אביה. עודה בבית אביה. רבי יוסף ושמעון אומרים, אין מטמא לה. לא. אנוסה ומפותה לדברי הכל למטמא לה. What happens if she was אנוסה ומפותה? Right? She was violated or seduced. According to everybody, he does not become tameter. Okay? Mukat etz and mukat etz in metamela. Divre, mukat etz and metamela. He does not become tamer for her. These are the words of Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon omer, ruya lekohen gadol metamela, sheruya lekohen gadol metamela. Which means this. According to Shitat Rabbi Shimon, it's only if it's fitting to a Kohen Gadol. If it's not fitting to a Kohen Gadol, it cannot metamelo. So therefore, a mukat etz. You remember what a mukat etz was? A mukat etz was that, for example, let's say, right? He comes and he says, yeah, he comes and he says, what happens if it's going to be?
Fire.
He comes and he says, mukat etz. He comes and he says this. He says, "Mukat etz is again if she was hit right over there on the bottom, and therefore it caused her to lose her virginity." So it says over here, "Mukat etz," she cannot be. He doesn't become tametor. Why? Because according to Shita of Rabbi Shimon, he used to say that only if she was fitting to a Kohen Gadol, then it would be okay. But if not, not. So says the Gemara, "Bogeret metamela divrei kol adam." Right? He says over here, "Bogeret that dies." Right? What is a bogeret? 12 right? 12 and a half. Right? According to everybody, it's going to be right? Metamela. What's the reasoning of Rabbi Meir Rabbi Yehuda? He says that Darshi Achi because they make a drasha. When it says that only his sister, which she's not married, she's a virgin, that comes to exclude mefute and anusa, violated and seduced. I would have thought to say that also it comes to exclude mukat etz. She was never with a man. Only if it came from a man. That says it comes to exclude. If she now lost it because she put on a tampon, and all of a sudden now she lost her virginity, that didn't come to a man. So therefore, she's still going to be pure. Hakirova. When it says hakirova, it says l'rabot arusa. This comes to include even as achoto that she was engaged, that she dies. Mutar for him to go and to become tameh for her, to go to the cemetery for her. Elav, right? Hakirova elav. Elav, Rabot will get it. Even his sister that she's a bogeret, 12 and a half, and therefore by nature, many times she'll lose her virginity. Also, it's the same halacha. So says the Gemara, halama likra. Why do I need a pasuk? Why do I need a pasuk? The Hama Rabbi Meir says Rabbi Meir, betula, afilu miktzah betula b'masha. Right? Even if it's going to be miktzah betula, right? So he says, itzrich. He comes and he says, you need it. Why do you need it? Salkadaita chamina, because, right? He comes and he says, nelef betula betula mehat. He says, I'm going to learn a gzera shava. I'm going to learn a as a Gemara, itzrich, you need it. So I would have thought to say nelef betula betula mehatam. I would have thought that you learn a gzera shava. What is a gzera shava? Betula betula, which means to do with male halan. Just like over there when it says betula, it's a na'ara. Afkan, so too here when it says betula, it's nami na'ara. Kamash malan comes to teach you that no, when it says the krova elav, elav means even a bogeret, not only a na'ara, even a bogeret. That means even if his sister is already above 12 and a half, and she's a bogeret, and she dies, he still becomes tameh for her. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon might tell us. What's Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon? Right? Even though Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon, what are their reasons why they say that a kohen cannot become tameh to achoto arusa? Dar shehache, because he's doresh like this. Vela achoto betula. What does it mean? Vela achoto betula. He comes and he says, prat lanusa umfuta umukat etz. This comes to exclude anusa, umfuta, umukat etz. So it's coming to exclude these three, right? What's an anusa? Right? Violated, right? Anusa is violated. Mefuta, seduced. Umukat etz, right? What is mukat etz? Right? Also, again, she was hit below, and that's why she came out. Ashelo aita pralarusa, hakirova is pralarusa shenitkarsha. She got divorced. Even if she got divorced, also the same halacha, right? Elav lerabot atavugeret. Okay, akirova leravot arusa shenitkarsha. He says, are you going to tell me now that if it says kirova, it's coming to include an arusa shenitkarsha, right? That she became divorced? What's going on? Samech Amubet, 60b, to be or not to be. It says, Ve'ha'amar Rabbi Shimon, says Rabbi Shimon, Haruya leKohen Gadol. If it's going to be fitting for a Kohen Gadol, metamela, en haruya leKohen Gadol. If it's not fitting for a Kohen Gadol, yeah, en metamela, it's not going to mean metamela. So says the Gemara, Shanehatam, it's different over there. Terebi Rachmana kirova. What does it mean kirova? Right? That it's going to be close. Right? What does that mean? He comes and he says as follows. If so, mukat etz nami, also mukat etz is the same halacha. So he says krova achat velo shtayim. It's only one and it's not two. Okay? So Maraita, why did you say to come and to say that it's coming to exclude a woman that she's a mukat etz? So he comes and he says, Ha'it avid ba'maaseh. There was a Rabbi Yosef, and according to Rabbi Yosef, mideshavke lebarzuke. That word sounds familiar. Mideshavke. Where does that word come from? The shavke. Where does that come from? Hello, mideshavke. Where does that word come from? As the Gemara, Rabbi Yosef, mideshavke lebarzuke. Since Rabbi Yosef, that which we said by Mukat Etz, he left Rabbi Shimon that was Ben Zug Beorah that he's paskin. Miklad of Mukat Etz Rabbi Meir Tzviralei. Right? So therefore it's mashma that he holds like Rabbi Meir to do Mukat Etz. That he said that he's going to be permitted to come and to become Tameh. Meaning if the sister, right, the sister of the Kohen became a Mukat Etz, she lost her virginity because of a tampon, because of a piece of wood, because of whatever it is. He's allowed to become tameh to her, right? If she now dies and he has to go to the cemetery. Menale, how do we know that? Because it says lo hayta leish. when it says that it was achoto betula, the sister that was a virgin, shelo hayta leish, which means like this: a kohen can become tameh to his sister only if she was not married. If she was married, he doesn't become tameh to her. But it says over here, what about now if she's not a virgin? So I would have thought to say, listen, that's it. Elmaleh, you can't do anything. No. If it says shelo hayta leish, she wasn't to a man. So as long as she wasn't to a man, it's going to be okay. So therefore, he could still become tameh to her, even though she's not anymore a virgin. So it says, but you already excluded her. So he says, no. One of them you excluded from the arusa, that she's already engaged, from lo hayta leish. And one of them you excluded from the fact that it says leish, right? Which means through a man. That means the man was the cause of her losing her virginity. Elav, the word hakirova elav, close to him, comes to include a bogeret. What's a bogeret? 12 and a half. From 12 and a half onwards, even if she automatically lost her virginity, doesn't matter. We're going to include it that she's also, right? That means that he could also become tameh to her. So says the Gemara, the Hamar Rabbi Shimon, says Rabbi Shimon, betula shlema mashma. But when it says that it's a betula, it means that it's only a lachoto betula, 100% virgin. Betula means 100%, which means that if she's not 100% virgin, he can become tameh to his sister. So says the Gemara, he says the reasoning over there is also because of this. Because we're learning like this. When it says elav, it's coming to include the bogeret. Miklal de betula shlema mash. So it's mashma the betula. It's a betula shlema. It's 100%. So he says, Tanya, we learned in a braita. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai Omer, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, gioret. When you have a case of a gioret, it's going to be less than 3 years on one day. She could get married to a Kohen. If she converts less than 3 years in one day, if she converts less than 3 years in one day, I mean, she's a baby, less than 3 years old. Less than 3 years old, she could get married to a Kohen. Says Shneimar, right? Shneimar says in a pasuk, it says over there, any woman that she doesn't know to be with a man, you can let them live. So less than 3 years old, she wasn't with a man. Yeah. Shalosh. One day. So says the Gemara, Vare Pinchas, right? Vare Pinchas imahem. He says Pinchas was with them. Okay, V'Rabbanan, and according to Rabbanan, it says Lavadim Ushfachot. What does it mean Lavadim Ushfachot? He comes and he says we're talking about slaves and maidservants. So says the Gemara, Yachiv so Bat Shalosh Shanim Yom Echad Nami. Says 1 second. So then why can we say also even if it's going to be more than 3 years or 1 day? So answers the Gemara, Ked Ravuna, like Ravuna. To Ravuna Rami, Ravuna came and he asked a contradiction. What was the contradiction that he asked? He says, Ketiv, it's written, V'chol isha yodat ish mishkav zachar rogo. Any woman that was with a man, you kill them. Here we're talking about the war. If you remember, against Ammon and Moab, right? And what happened was that the Benot Moab, they caused the Jews to sin. Mm-hmm. So when they went out to war against them, any woman that was there that could have had relations with the man, killed them. Right? That was the rule. So it says, Ha ena yudah. She doesn't know mishkavi. She doesn't know who to be with a man. Kimu. Right? So then what? So you're going to let them live. Miklal da'ataf ben yadu ben yadu. So it's mashma that if they had the relations, whether they did or they didn't, it's going to be okay. But if they didn't know, harogu, kill them. So says the Gemara, we're going to say, we're talking about where it's going to be re'uya libael, which means that it's fitting to have the relations. So Tanya Miyachi also learned in the Braita. We're talking about that a woman that she's fitting to have relations. What? She's fitting or she actually did it? So it says the Gemara when it says that means as long as she was fitting for relations, you have to kill her. Okay? How did they know? How did they know? How did they know who was fitting for relations or not? They brought him in front of the seats. Are you listening? They brought them in front of the tzitz. The tzitz is the head plate of the Kohen Gadol. Kol shepanea morikot, if her face became green, so then we knew that she was fitting already to have relations. If her face did not become green, yeah, so then it's not going to be fitting for, right, relations. Yeah? Okay?
By the age, she's over 12.
Over 3.
Over 3.
Yes, over 3 or not. So yeah, that over 3 is already fitting. So he says, Amar Rav Nachman, says Rav Nachman, Siman la'avera hidrokan. The siman, are you listening? Siman for an avera is hidrokan. What does it mean? Hidrokan. Hidrokan is the becoming green. Achlav, jaundice, right? Becoming green. Okay? We also saw it in a pasuk in Shofetim. There it says that they found 400 lads, 400 not lads, lads of males, maidens, 400 maidens, right? Right? It says right? Maidens that they did not know mishkav zachar, they didn't know to be with a man. And now, how did they know? Amar of Kahana, listen to this. It's a litmus test. You know what the litmus test is? No. Yeah, John Jack, listen to this. They sat them down on a barrel of wine. And then what? Be'ula, right? If she was a be'ula, the smell would come out through her mouth, the smell of the wine, right? They put her on sitting down on top of the barrel of wine. It would go through her body. And if she was a be'ula, if she wasn't a virgin, it would come up and she would be able to smell it through the mouth, right? Betula, if she was a betula, en rechanodef, then it does not come out through the mouth. Okay? So says the Gemara, v'navrinu lifnei hatzitz. He says, 1 second. So why don't we put them also in front of the tzitz? Says the Gemara, Rav Kahana b'der Rav Natan, says Rav Kahana named Rav Natan, leratzon lahem lifnei Hashem ketiv. Laratzon v'lo lepononut. There it's only for leratzon, which means to make them like korbanot, to make something good, right? But not to bring puranut, right? That means if it's something negative, they don't want to bring it in front of the tzitz. Because to bring it in the front of the tzitz and then it was something negative, they didn't want to do that. But if it's something positive, then yes. So it says, Yihachi, if so, b'midyan nami. Also Midyan, it's going to be the exact same thing. What does that mean? Right there, they wanted to find out who they want to kill. In Midyan, they were going to kill all the girls that they were already of age to be with men. So therefore, what do? They passed it in front of the tzitz. Their face became green, kaddish, right? Kill them. Yeah. So 1 second. So that was puranut. That wasn't something good. So why did they bring it in front of the tzitz? So Amar Rav Ashi, he says, Amar Rav Ashi, lahem ketiv. Lahem for Bnei Israel, it's liratzon v'lo lepuranut. Ve'leovdei kochavim, afilu lepuranut. That means if it's to do with the goyim, I don't care whether it's going to be good for them or bad for them. You put it in front of the tzitz, and that's it. But if it's going to be the tzitz, not a tzitz, tzitz, the tzitz of the Kohen Gadol. Yeah? So he comes and he says, right? Amar, Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi, says Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi, name of Rabbi Shimon Levi. Halachak Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, halachak Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. Amaleh Rabbi Zera Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi, says Rabbi Zera to Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi, beferush shmiya lecha mikal. Did you hear that befurash? You heard that explicitly? Or it was like mashma to you? Right? It was implied to you. So he says, my klala. What does it mean exactly? He comes and he says, right, as follows. Right? The Amar of Yeshua ben Levi says of Yeshua, right, ben Levi. There was a city that all of a sudden people started saying that maybe the people in the city are not kosher. Yeah, they started saying that they're not kosher. What happened? So he went and he checked the city. Right? They found a gioret that was less than 3 years and 1 day that she got married to a Kohen. So Rabbi said it's okay. Why? She was less than 3 years old. 1 day. So therefore it was going to be okay. That was what he said before. So Elmaleh, he says, I heard him in Furash. So he says, so what would it, if it would have been in general? What did you hear in general? So he says, maybe it's different over there. He already got married. The Rav and Rabbi Yochanan says, but they shouldn't get married to a Kohen. However, though, a Kohen Gadol. But what happens if they already got married? So then you leave them there. Meaning once in a while, we have this general rule that we say don't get married. But if they already did get married, leave them. You don't leave it like that. It's amazing how in the other dafim. We're almost done. Can you compare both cases? There, if she's already married, she will become a bugeret under him. And she's also going to become a beula under him. But once she's married, obviously she's going to have relations with him. But over here in a case where the Kohen gets married to Gioret, right? He says what? Anyone that gets married to the Kohen is going to become a zonah, right? For sure not. So therefore, according to this, what are you comparing both cases? So he says, Rav Safra matla miklala v'kashale. So because of that, and therefore he came and he answered, just like we're talking about here, bogeret. We're talking about a gioret, which is again lechatchila sur, but b'diavad it's going to be mutar if she already did get married. So then there was a case. Ha'u kahana da'insiv gioret v'chutam bat shalosh shrim echad. There was a case. A kohen comes and he gets married to a gioret, which is less than 3 years old and 1 day. Elmaleh Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says of Nachman bar Yitzchak, my high, what's halacha? So Elmaleh he says, Amar Yaakov bar Idi, Amar Shmuel Levi. He comes and he says of Yaakov bar Idi, Amar Shmuel Levi. Halacha is Shmuel Yochai. Elmaleh he tells him, Zil apik, go take her out, because you just said in Siv he got married. And he says Zil apik, go out and take her out. Zil go apik, take her out, right? V'lo mapkina lach Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi meunech. And if not, I'm going to take Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi from his ears. I'm going to take him out. You ever heard the expression? I'm going to take you out from your ear. Comes from here. Yeah? He comes and he says, which means, right, I'm going to come and he's going to put him in nidui until he's going to do this, until he listens to him. So Tanya, we learned in the Braita, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai used to say, Kivrei ovdei kochavim em metamin be'ohel. Do you know that a Kohen could go to a non-Jewish cemetery? Huh? We just said it. A Kohen can go to a non-Jewish cemetery. Really? Yeah? I just said it. As long as there's no Jews, that's the problem. Yeah. The problem nowadays is that we suspect that there's a Jew there. And even if there's going to be one Jew, Kaddish. Right? It's a problem. No. Yeah, Shneimar, but there's a pasuk, and believe that this will continue tomorrow.